After one, led by 24 at the half and kept extending that lead. Chris Miles here with you at State Farm Arena here in Atlanta. 5th consecutive regular season win for the Spurs, but this one, the most dominant we've seen in a while. Victor Wembanyama played the most minutes he's played in a game since returning from his calf injury. Yeah, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 10 for 15 from the field in those 26 minutes. So again, Victor Wembanyama looking better and healthier by the day, the second night of a back-to-back for Victor Wembanyama on the floor. We also saw Steph Castle and Devin Vassell, the two Georgia guys, come home and play well. 35 points between those two in the victory tonight. But the biggest moment after this game, Dominique Wilkins coming over and saying, oh, this team's a problem, especially Victor Wembanyama, Jacob, Sean, impressing legends by the day. That's what we're seeing with Wemby.
Well, the Spurs had 68 bench points tonight, Chris, tying a season high. It helps to have Wemby come off the bench
right.
for that.
It really does. He was absolutely spectacular. And so many of his plays, you look at the stat sheet and you say, okay, it's 2 points. He's got 26 points. But a lot of his plays were absolutely demoralizing. He was going to work in the paint here. Throws it up there off the glass, looked like he was going to mishandle it for a second, kind of saunters into that 3-ball, makes it look easy, and then these right here. He starts pinning the ball off the glass on you, catching lobs like that. It just takes the wind out of you if you're the opposition. And so a lot of his points, 26 points, felt like they were bigger than that. Felt like he had more than 2 blocks when he's throwing one off the shot clock. He's pinning one on the glass. As an offensive player, you're going in there, and you think you have a shot until you don't. And so it's just a tough proposition for anybody trying to score in the paint.
Well, Mitch Johnson was talking about it before yesterday's game, saying that they were going to be conservative with Victor, and we all thought, well, maybe he's not going to play in Atlanta.
Right.
But he does, also in part because he needs to play every single game he can if he wants to be included in those postseason awards.
Right.
So that's good that he played. But he's just kind of checking off those steps, step by step in his comeback. He's played between 20 and 25 minutes every single game so far.
Yeah. So he's in there right now. I'm sure he's getting treatment, getting those long legs. Probably has 4 masseuses rubbing those long legs down, making sure that his muscles are nice and loose. And it's good that he played in a back-to-back. That's a major milestone when you're coming back from a soft tissue injury. He played well. He looks like he has no ill effects, just like Dylan Harper when he came back. And he's making devastating plays. And his minutes keep climbing, so hopefully we see him on the floor a little bit more against Washington.
I was going to say, another game against the Wizards, 2 of the last 3 against Washington, one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, but, man, they didn't look like a bad team the other night. They really didn't. And, when you watch bad teams play, you see bad body language. You see guys that don't like each other on the court. They get down and they give up. And the Wizards didn't do that the other night. And so they're going to be a problem still. They're going to come out. They're going to play hard and try to defend their home court. Our guys have to be ready.
All right, let's go see what time this early bus leaves. Because if it's not that early, we're hopping in a car.
Yeah, we are.
And you're going to pay for it. Just kidding. Vassell, the hometown kid, to Victor Wembanyama, the French star.
For the first time in 4 years, the Spurs have won back-to-back games by 25 points or more. They won this one by 28 in Atlanta. Wire-to-wire, almost win for the San Antonio Spurs, had a 13-point lead after the first quarter and never looked back. And they did it by sharing the wealth. They're now 7-1 this season when they have 30 or more assists. They had 31 in this one. Steph Castle getting downhill and finding open players. De'Aaron Fox had 8 assists, 31 total. Victor Wembanyama getting in on the action, drawing the double team and finding KJ. There's the record. 7-1 when they have 30 or more assists and back-to-back 25-plus point wins for the San Antonio Spurs on back-to-back nights when they were in San Antonio last night, here in Atlanta tonight. Both wins by more than 25 points. And we're playing above the rim. Devin Vassell back at home, throwing it down.
The energy and what we were putting our energy into was very, very appropriate, and you felt that throughout the game.
step into. People talk about that might be a post-cup letdown. Definitely made a shout out to that during the community third ball at some time. They really conscious effort to kind of avoid that.
You know, we've talked since October. We have a lot of firsts because we haven't been together. So I think we've talked about the potential, because this was back at camp, of dealing with adversity and dealing with success. And so we're just trying to attack days, and there's a little bit of all of it. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's super impactful and leaving his imprints all over the game, and it's great to see. But again, we talked about it as he was just getting back. We'll be mindful. You know, I honestly, there's not a number or a rigid build out of this thing other than we're going to continue to play him and be mindful of it and make sure that we're going to take it day by day and make sure that he's continuing to react the way that we want him to and he wants to.
Returning from his calf injury, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 10 for 15 from the field in those 26 minutes. So again, Victor Wembanyama looking better.
You know, honestly, I think it's just his fitness level. You know, there's no way to replicate game minutes. You can run 1,000 sprints, you can swim, you can jump on the treadmill, whatever you want. Game fitness level is not able to be duplicated to that level. And so I think that's what we're looking at. I mean, if you look at the level of performance, I think he's back to impacting the game like that. And sometimes it's hard. Obviously, he's not going to play like this with this stat line every night in 21 and a half minutes, but that's part of the growth for him also, is to not try to fit 35 minutes of production into 21 minutes. Just play the game.
And again, we should note Victor Wembanyama, 26 minutes. That's the most minutes he's played since coming back from that calf injury. 26 points, 12 rebounds. Again, 10 for 15 from the field. Up next, the Washington Wizards on Sunday. That's an early start. 5:30 Central. Again, third game in 4 nights for the San Antonio Spurs, who have been on the road. We know that, but they continue to perform. It's 5 consecutive regular season wins, including back-to-back wins with over 25 points for the first time in 4 years. They did it with a balanced overall game, 24 fast break points, 54% from the field, 31 assists, and 60 points in the paint, dominating from the very beginning to the very end of the game. Getting healthy, getting right. The San Antonio Spurs doing it again with another win. Remember, their only loss in these last 5 games, technically the Emirates NBA Cup Championship, which does not count for the regular season standings. So we're keeping track of it. 5 wins in a row for the San Antonio Spurs, holding back-to-back opponents to under 100 points as well. Thank you for hanging out with us here on Spurs Live, the FanDuel Sports Network. We appreciate you.